Hello, everyone. If you haven't been watching the news lately or listening to the news or reading newspapers, you might not have heard that there was a couple bank failures recently. One was out in Silicon Valley, dealt with a lot of the tech companies out there, and people made a run on the bank, withdrawing money, and federal regulators had to step in. Other bank that I heard about, apparently they were delving into cryptocurrency quite a bit. And when you mess with cryptocurrency and don't have enough, reserves, you can run into really big problems. So, so long as this doesn't spread to a few other banks or bigger banks, it may not be just a blip, but it could be something a lot more. Something you may want to look into because it's never good to see banks fail like that. Now, let's talk about silver. Silver jumped 60 cents today, and it's like 2060 or somewhere around there, I think. It could go up quite a bit off of this news because a lot of people are going to want a safe haven. Anyway, Frosty made an interesting point about silver prices. He said something along the lines that the contract price, which determines what people say silver's worth and what it costs, and how much of that trades for every ounce of silver, was pretty spectacular. I suggest you go check his video out. And Frosty being Frosty Metals, and this is a sticker. Now, let's talk about a couple recent buys. Just had my video go live for this Peace Dollar. It's 21, got a hole in it. I'm going to repeat the fact that I believe this happened years and years ago. It's been worn as a necklace quite a bit, I would say. Used to be people who used to wear these as necklaces. Coins of all different types, sizes, shapes. Now, this one I got the last Sunday I thought was pretty interesting. It's a Standing Liberty. You flip it over here and it says commemorative copy. And it has the Type 1 design on it. It's a 1 troy ounce, 3/9 fine silver round. Not considered anything but a generic, although I have no idea who made this or how many they made. Design's interesting. And it does look a lot like the Type 1 Standing Liberty quarters. I don't know how close it is, and since Standing Liberty is the same size as a modern quarter, the quarter depiction on this is much bigger than what it really is. I don't have a 1916 to compare. I have some 1917s that are worn out pretty bad, but they're Type 1s. But I can pull my red book and open it to the Standing Liberty quarters. And we'll have a quick look at them. All right. Have the book open to the coin. Now, the book shows the Standing Liberty quarter looking like that. I don't know if I can get this in here and see it better. That does not look, well, that's not too bad right there. The shadow of the camera is blocking it a little bit. But you can kind of see what it looks like. And then the Type 1 Eagle, this works. There's no stars underneath the eagle. That's how you determine it. But when you look at the design on this, it's pretty close. It's not exactly the same, but because this shows like a a shield thing like some of the old early coins had, instead of what looks kind of like a star on the actual coin. So it's not quite the same thing. All right, let's see where we are. Anyway, so long as this bank failure that happened, the couple of banks, smaller, more regional type banks, oh, they were kind of big. As long as that doesn't spread to any of the really big banks and cause problems there, then we probably won't have a huge fallout from it. But I'm not going to discount the fact that a large fallout could happen from it. But anyway, I kind of like thinking, what else am I going to talk about? Because I went to my jeweler coin dealer guy, and he said that he was probably working this Saturday, him and his daughter, and they're going to go through a bunch of coins. Now, they're not going to be open to the public while they do this. Now, he doesn't have very many coins. He's got a display case for it, and that's all he puts in it, and it's just not very many of them in there. So I'm hoping maybe to get something neat from him next week. Going to my other coin dealers tomorrow, his place, and he had a bunch of these silver rounds and stuff. I looked through them a couple times. There's really no more I'm real interested in. I'm just hoping he finds something old and interesting and U.S. constitutional that's not too bad a price, because that's what I want to get more of. I'd be happy if you got another bust $50, cap bust or whatever, at a decent price. It might be a little more than a lot of the coins I buy, but I feel like it's the kind of coin that's going to hold its value much more than common date stuff that I buy a lot of too. So that's what I'm looking for. If he doesn't have anything, I might go up to Rockville again tomorrow. And now I know that guy will have something, because he had quite a few coins in his display, U.S. coins, and I know he has boxes of them. He also has some of the Mexican pesos. He told me a few weeks ago. He usually only sells them online, but he said if he had a certain guy there, he probably would have went back and got a few of them out. Might have been able to get some. Well, if he has everybody there tomorrow, or they're not real busy, and I get there, he might go back in the back and grab some, and I might have more. Now, you don't know what they look like. If you're not sure what the Mexican peso I'm talking about looks like, I'll move a couple of these out of the way so I can lay them out. It's these coins. They're not high value coins or nothing, but they are large coins that are 10% silver, and from what I understand, it's got a copper core, and they then wrap it in silver somehow. I don't know how they made them like that, but it's 10% by weight of silver, so it's not very much silver in this. In fact, someone told me, I think it might have been Addicted to Minis, but these have about as much silver as a war nickel. So you're not talking about high value coins. But I like the design, and I'd like to have one from every year. I have most of the even years and not very many of the odd year ones. 1906. They ran from 67 to, or 58 to 67. Sorry. 58, 64, 60. This one is a 62, a 66, a 67, and then this one is another 58. So I'm hoping to maybe be able to get more of these soon. Now, the jeweler guy said he had some too, but he had to find them. And he did find me a couple of them. because I got 5 of these online through eBay, and then I got the other 2 from him. So I know he has some. He said he did, and maybe I'll get some from him. Who knows? Okay, it says someone is watching. Would you please say hello in the chat, please? And then we can talk about the other thing. I just done a couple scratch off games and did not win. One I could have won $50 top prize, and then the other one has a $2,000 top prize, but I did not win on either one of them, which happens often. That's why I tell you, if you're going to buy lotto tickets, only buy a few and play on a budget. Don't go out and spend a lot of your money on lotto, because odds are you're just going to lose, or if you win anything, you'll end up spending more than what you ended up winning, unless you get lucky by some odd chance and you buy one of these like this that's got a pretty big top prize. And there's the other ones that cost more than $1 of this same series. If I remember correctly, the $10 one has a $250,000 jackpot. So if you won that, then you probably will be ahead of the game. But unless you win a jackpot on one of these scratch offs, you're probably behind if you've been buying them occasionally or a lot. So that's my advice on lotto. Don't buy many. Don't play a lot. You want to play a couple times here and there, that's fine. And if you check my uh, playlist, I have one about lotto games. See, I do occasionally, but not very often. Seems about once every couple weeks I'll buy a couple of these scratch offs and give it a shot and see if anything happens, but not too much luck. But anyway, I hope that everybody's having a good night and everything. And there's 2 people watching. Hello to you two, and I hope that you have a good night. If you want to say hello real quick, I can give you credit for stopping by on my video and on the comments, or not comments, but details section. So if you want to say hello, go ahead and do so in the chat. I'll wait a little bit longer, but I'm not planning on staying live too much longer. It's I got a few other things to do before I shut down my computer and everything else. Bank failures are never a good news thing. We'll end with that. I'm going to wish everybody a good night, and we'll see you probably tomorrow night, especially if I get something cool. Have a good night.